And that is a giant, giant point there that nobody's talking about. If he doesn't pull through with a Colorado, one of the four corner schools or something, what if they just stand pat? I think a lot of Big 12 fans are going to be upset. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master of Football, back at it again. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to be up to date on all things college football, pro football, Madden, EA college football, anything related to that, as well as the NFL draft, hit that red subscribe button. You will not be disappointed. Also hit the like button too. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, guys. So I saw an email come through from my boy John Canzano, because right now I'm telling you, first of all, it's back at it again. The Big 12 Twitterati. We're going to get Colorado. We're going to get Utah. We're going to get, this. Let's just wait, okay? I don't think anything like that is going to happen. However, there is one person who is preparing as if San Diego State rumored to the Pac-12. Fresno State's been talking to the Big 12, apparently. Boise State was talking to the Big 12. There's lots of things like that we don't know what's going on. Gloria Nevarez, Mountain West Commissioner, already knows what she has to do. Has she revealed it? No. But we're going to hypothesize some of those things right now, because I've already made a video before about kind of like what their realignment options for the Mountain West would be. Looks like she's already thinking about it. Let's get into that article real quick. So here we are on John Canzano, the Bald-Faced Truth by John Canzano, April 9th, so a couple days ago here, talking about conferences and players plot as landscapes shift. So again, right here, Gloria Nevarez told me on Saturday, this last Saturday, that her conference is exploring a number of expansion scenarios. The Mountain West has been meeting regularly to survey the landscape and explore expansion options. Mountain West member San Diego State has already sort of has one foot out the door. The Aztecs held a public celebration of their men's Final Four basketball season at Snapdragon Stadium on Saturday. Fun was had by all. University President Adela de la Torre used the occasion to drop a hint. Who knows? Maybe in the future we will be somewhere else, and that's a pretty strong indication there. Fresno State's president had regular contact with the Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark over the past 5 months, campus sources tell me. Boise State could also be an eventual Big 12 target, although I'm told there hasn't been frequent and regular contact. They were listed before when the Big 12 expanded from 8 to 12. They had their first four in essence, which was BYU, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati. And then their last four out, so to say, or the next four up, would be South Florida, Boise State, SMU, and then Memphis. Those are the next four. So they haven't had regular contact since then, but they have been in contact with them. There were some recent murmurs about the Big 12 interest in UNLV, but based on my conversations, I don't think it's particularly serious. Feels like the Big 12 will wait to see what happens with the Pac-12, as they should, because again, we want to make sure the Pac-12 is going through the media rights deal before anything itself. That's what I would do at least. Anyone else think, and this is a huge question here I want for all the Big 12 Twitterati out there, anyone else think Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark is eventually going to want something to show for all the bluster and the talk? And that is a giant, giant point there that nobody's talking about. If he doesn't pull through with a Colorado, one of the four corner schools or something, what if they just stand pat? I think a lot of Big 12 fans are going to be upset. It says, who should the Mountain West Conference be exploring as potential expansion targets? My mind immediately went to a handful of California-based Big Sky Conference members, such as UC Davis, Cal Poly, and Sacramento State. But I'm told by an industry insider that those options won't easily fly. Now, keep in mind, because this right here is important when we talk about this, there could be firm opposition from San Jose State, Nevada, and Fresno State. Remember, Nevada is on the border and close to Reno, very, very close to that, that Sacramento State area, who all regularly recruit California. Also, there's a sizable investment required to make the jump up. The same insider waved off the current Big Sky member Montana as a possible Mountain West Conference target. He said Montana and Montana State will stay together. And again, that's very important to see that here. It says it's possible that Mountain West could lose San Diego State to the Pac-12/Big 12 and decide to stay at 10 full-time members, 11 in football, as Hawaii is football only. But the ultimate play for the Mountain West may be in Texas, i.e. Sam Houston State, UTEP, UT, San Antonio. Also, she's got connections to Gonzaga, because again, she used to be the commissioner of the West Coast Conference. But that's kind of where we're at. We see Sam Houston State, UTEP, UT, San Antonio, Gonzaga. Lots of things are being listed off at this point. So I don't hate a couple of those ideas. First of all, I'm going to let you know UT San Antonio is not coming over. If the Mountain West loses San Diego State, Fresno State, or Boise State, one of the three, two of the three, especially three of the three, they're definitely not going to come over. They've got a much better thing in the American going forward, bigger markets, things like that. So I don't think that's an opportunity. I think that it's interesting when you see UTEP. UTEP was a former WAC school. A lot of these teams were former WAC schools in the Mountain West right now. It would be pretty easy integration there. In addition to Sam Houston State, their new call-up, kind of a I don't really know if that's the play here. So the first thing we're going to do is going to go through an old presentation I had about the 4 scenarios I thought if San Diego State left the Mountain West. But remember there, now we've got some new things happening here because Fresno State and Boise State are also listed as well. So now we're going to go through the 4 old ones I had and compare them to the 3 new ones of San Diego State leaving, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Boise State, 2 of the 3 leaving, and all 3 leaving. Let's get into that presentation real quick. So right here, I wanted to walk through the possibilities here. The number 4 most likely possibility was add New Mexico State and UTEP. Like I said, it'd be pretty easy there, super easy geographical integration. Both schools are right next to each other. Both schools would be thrilled about that because they currently have to go to Miami FIU for certain games. They would be going much closer by. I also had this one here. This was the number 3 most likely, in my opinion. This is previous. So add Portland State, Sac State, and Eastern Washington. Sacramento State has been listed as a team that may or may not be included. I do think, though, that, again, if it's Fresno State and San Diego State both league, they may have to add Sacramento State just because they want to have a presence in California, or at least a stronger presence in California. I also threw this one in here. This is a little crazy. Add the Dakotas. It was crazy. I'm just saying, if San Diego State were to leave, this would not be unreasonable to think here. However, it was my number 2 most likely because my number 1 most likely do nothing. And unfortunately, I still think that is true. However, what I'm going to do right here is I want to make sure I walk through the 3 different scenarios. Again, the first scenario is going to be if San Diego State leaves. The next one, if San Diego State and/or Boise State and Fresno State leave, 2 of those 3. And then the next one would be 3 of the 3. Let's get into that real quick. So scenario 1, San Diego State leaves. What do I think is the probable play here? Do nothing. Stay at 10 full-time members, 11 in football. What they would do right here is they would do 2 guaranteed rivals of, across the league for football and have 6 remaining conference games between the 8 remaining teams. Basically, they would play every team 3 times in 4 years. The aggressive play here would be to add Portland State. Portland State would be pretty easy integration here. Flies direct to everywhere in the league, isn't in California. So again, like I said, people are, oh my gosh, it's all the way up there. It's got a big airport. It's going to be pretty easy integration there. Flies to Hawaii, flies to everywhere else. Not a big issue integrating Portland State. Like I said, that's the aggressive play. The probable play, probably do nothing. Scenario 2, San Diego State and one of Fresno State and or Boise State leave. The probable play here is to add New Mexico State and UTEP. I know a lot of Mountain West fans would not be excited about that, but if we're being honest here, it would put you at 11 full-time members, 12 in football. It would be an extremely easy travel and integration of teams. I know that people are like, oh, it doesn't add new markets and this and that. First of all, when you get to this level of football, if you were to lose, first of all, if you lose 2 of your top 3 brands, no offense to Air Force, I know Air Force gets a lot of fans, but if you lose 2 of your top 3 brands, then you're going to definitely have to find ways to cut costs. One of that is to make sure that it's easy travel. Easy travel is 2 teams, New Mexico State, Las Cruces, New Mexico, and UTEP, El Paso, Texas, right next to each other. Really easy to integrate both of those teams in. Again, you already have a presence in New Mexico. So again, that's the probable play here if you lose 2 of the top 3. The next one here would be the aggressive play. Me personally, I'm adding Portland State and Eastern Washington. Spokane, Portland, easy travel in and out, gives you 2, puts you at 11 full, 12 football, can have some travel over to to Hawaii as well. And then you also have the Inferno. I know it's a small thing. The Inferno, for those of you who don't know, Google right now, Eastern Washington's Red Field. You'll be shocked. You think Boise State's is an eyesore. Wait till you see that thing. It's crazy. I do like it. Don't think I said eyesore negatively. The super aggressive play here. So again, you lose some of those schools. Do you go west? I actually think you go east. I think you would have to add a pair. Now, if I had to choose between Montana State and Montana or South Dakota State and North Dakota State, I'm out of the Dakotas. I want to be competitive. I want to be important. Remember here, with the way this new CFP works in 2024, the top 6 conference champions, top 6 rated conference champions go to the playoff. You add North Dakota State and South Dakota State, both participants in the national championship. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a much stronger time. You're going to get a lot more of those people to get in there. They might not win, but again, it's one of those things that this will bring you more money, give you a new market. Again, it would be a little difficult with the travel, but at the same time, not too far to, Laramie and this and that. You could maybe make some agreements for San Jose State and Hawaii to not have to go there for X amount of years, or maybe only have to go once if they do, something like that. They could work their way through it. That would be the super aggressive play. And last but not least, scenario 3, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Boise State leave. DEFCON 5, terrible situation. The Mountain West would hate this. Now, again, this would have to be probably multiple years down the road. This would be San Diego State and SMU go to the Pac-12. The Big 12 decides to expand out west. They had Fresno and Boise State for more time slots out there. Something like that. Very unlikely, but it is something they have to definitely discuss. The probable play here is, again, probably add New Mexico State and UTEP. However, also add one of a combination of UCF, or not a combination, but one of UC Davis, Sacramento State, or Cal Poly, one of those teams out there. At this point, the California schools will understand the need to reestablish California. You can't be complaining about that. Maybe Cal Poly, because they're a Southern California team, that would probably make the most sense out of those teams. You'll put you at 11 full, 12 football, extremely easy travel and integration of the teams. Cal Poly is in San Luis Obispo, so it's kind of a weird place, so you can definitely fly in and out of there if you really needed to. The aggressive play, again, add Portland State and Eastern Washington. Again, you would go to 11 teams, 11 football, 10 overall. Portland, again, super easy integration with everybody there. The super aggressive play would also be adding South Dakota State and North Dakota State. Again, same situation, 11 football, 10 overall. Me personally, the outrageously aggressive play, you lose these top 3 brands, you got to do something. You can't just sit around and keep on adding Southern Utah and Northern Arizona. That's not going to move the needle. You got to do something big. I would add South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Eastern Washington, Portland State, and one of UC Davis, Sacramento State, and Cal Poly. I would add Cal Poly, Southern California. That's what I would do. Because again, you would go from, you would have, 12 football, 11 overall. You'd lose 3, so that'd be 9 and 8. And then you add 5. That would be the move that I would want to do there, add a presence in Southern California. That's where I would go get 14 football, 13 overall. That's where I'm at. Again, that's what I would do. Remember here, you lose San Diego State, Fresno State, and Boise State. You lose your top 3 brands. You got to do something big. This would be something big. So Gloria's got her work cut out for it, because right now, San Diego State is rumored to be going to the Pac-12, probably will be going. As soon as they sign their deal, they'll probably be going. Then we also have Fresno State, who's been talking to the Big 12. I know Big 12 fans, you're not talking to Big 12. They might be. Brett Yormark has been talking about a lot of stuff. He wants to go out west. If he can't get those Pac-12 teams, he might add Boise State, might add, Fresno State, something like that. Again, probably pay them really low entry fees, probably maybe even a little bit above what they're getting right now. Both of them getting about $4 or $5 million. So they probably pay him $7, and they'd be thrilled to be in a Power 5 conference. That's probably the situation there. So she looks through that. Again, there's a couple scenarios. Add the Dakota schools, add UTEP and New Mexico State, Eastern Washington, Portland State, maybe a school in Southern California. That's what I'm thinking they would do here. Gloria, she's got to work it out for her, and apparently she's already thinking about these realignment options. All right, guys, get in the comments right now. What do you think is going to happen here? Because she's got to prepare for all 3 scenarios. Again, one of them will probably happen. The other 2 are a little hypothetical here, but get in the comments and let me know what you think is going to happen. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I appreciate it. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys later. I am out.